Let me tell you how I think about creating my own proofs when I'm doing this on my own. The truth is, I read the given, I read what I want to prove, and then I actually try to produce a little game plan in my head as to how to proceed. If you want to think about it, it's sort of like a little train of logic that's going to hopefully take me from my given to what I'm trying to prove. And so it's not a bad idea to actually create that. And to illustrate that, I actually want to give us the plan and see if we can then take the plan and execute it into an actual proof. So let's take a look at the example here. So I've got some given, and then I've got to prove this, but I'm also going to give you a plan. This is our plan of attack. Now, when we do this for real on our own, we're not going to be given the plan. Don't look, don't look, don't look. But for now, I want you to see how I thought about this plan, because I'm going to hope that you can generate your own plan in the future. So let's take a look together. So given angle C and angle D are right angles, that's what we're given, we're supposed to prove that angle C is congruent to angle D. Okay, that's what we want to prove. And here's the plan I want us to employ. So here's my thinking. I'm going to use the definition of a right angle to write the measure of each angle. And we know what that measure will be. Since it's a right angle, each will have measure 90 degrees. Then use the transitive property and the definitions of congruent angles to actually show that since they both have measure 90 degrees, then in fact they're going to be congruent. So there's a game plan, and now let's actually execute it together. So let's write it here on the sideboard. So first, the statement I'm going to consider is that angle C and angle D are right angles. Now, why is that true? Well, that's actually given. You can see angle C and angle D are right angles, so that's given to us. Okay, step 2 is to notice that the measure of angle C is 90 degrees, and also the measure of angle D is also 90 degrees. And why is that? Well, that's just the sheer definition of what it means to be a right angle. So that's great. You see how I'm following my game plan here, just like we discussed. Step 3 is to notice that the measure of angle C equals the measure of angle D. Well, why is that? Well, they're both equal to 90 degrees, and so that's just the transitive property of equality. Transitive property of equality. And then finally, step 4, we can just deduce what we want, which is that angle C is congruent to angle D. That's just the definition of what it means to be congruent angles. You're congruent angles if, in fact, you have the same measure. The important thing in this example to notice is the fact that we produced a plan. And I think it's really important, if you can, every time you look at something you're supposed to prove, look at the given and think about it, look at what you're trying to prove and think about it long and hard, and see if you can make a little plan, like a bridge that takes you from the given and marches you all the way onto what you want to prove. Once you've got that plan, then your challenge is to write it all out carefully, given statements and then the reasons for each statement. Once you've got that, you've got the proof in your back pocket. Have fun proving theorems.